Hello and welcome to Partisan video podcast, where I'm going to be talking about the announcement that Ernst & Young made to the Hong Kong Stock Exchange that they received a further 2 bids for controlling stake in Birmingham International Holdings and or the sale of Birmingham City Football Club. Okay, so I know there's been a bit of cynicism out there because people are going, oh look, season ticket renewal time, oh look, bids to the club, what an amazing coincidence. And I do understand that, but Ernst & Young are a massively professional company, and sales of season tickets to Birmingham City Football Club, I don't think they give 2 hoots about. This is not a marketing exercise. If they say they have received 7 indicative non-binding offers, then that's what they've received. Yes, they're indicative non-binding offers, which means they're basically, how much do you want to pay for the club? I will pay this much. They're just starting points of negotiation. But Ernst & Young have also made it clear that they want to move to a preferred bidder as soon as practicable. My one concern is that what happens if none of the bids are good enough? Because as much as people are like, oh, the club's not worth much, Ernst & Young have got to go with a bid that A, they're going to get past the shareholders, and B, they're going to get past Carson Young. And if the bid's like 2 packets of crisps and a Mars bar, that is not going to happen. And they will look to other avenues to keeping the business going. I know that sounds bad, but we have to bear this in mind. I know there's been talk of like Australian billionaires and Middle Eastern zillionaires and Bill Gates taking over the club, but I don't quite believe that's what the bids are going to be like. I know that at least 2 or 3 of them are from Britain. I believe a couple of them might even be Blues backed, but I don't know much about identity, and I don't know anything about value. I don't know where the other 4 are from. What I would say is that I think people might be a little bit underwhelmed if they're expecting billionaires. Although we've seen that our friends from across the Expressway are up for sale, and maybe West Brom might go, they are both, and it pains me to say this, they are both Premier League clubs at this moment in time, and as so are worth a lot more money than we are. To take on Birmingham City is a gamble. Yes, it's a good gamble in that for 25 million you could pick up a club that's got virtually no debt, owns its own ground, has a long licensed training ground, has a streamlined operation, and with a bit of investment could make it to the Premier League, where from next year the bottom team will earn £99 million over the next 4 years. But you've got to get them there, and that's going to require investment. So it is a gamble, and as such, it's going to be people who are not looking to go in at the top and spend hundreds of millions on players, but people who are looking to go in and get a decent value for money deal and build something so that they can make money from it, maybe, which means it might be a different class of bidder. I don't know. I hope that things can be sorted, but I was asked on Frank's show yesterday, will we have new owners by the start of next season? I was like, I don't know. I hope we do, but I can't say we will. In the same way, I can't tell you 6 numbers for the National Lottery tomorrow, for the National Lottery on Saturday. I just can't. Crystal ball's out of service, unfortunately. What we have to hope is that, first of all, Ernst & Young are a different proposition to Peter Panu doing the negotiation. Ernst & Young are going to be looking for the best deal for Birmingham International Holdings shareholders, which means they're going to look for, they're going to have to do some sort of due diligence. So someone like Palladini is saying, oh yeah, I'm friends with the Zulus, ain't going to wash with them. Someone saying, oh yeah, we've got backing, but we can't tell you where from yet, is not going to wash with them. Someone saying, oh yeah, we're going to bid, I don't know, 15 million and loads more if you go up, it's not going to wash with them. They're going to look for someone who's got the money in front of them now, who can prove they've got the money in front of them now, and who can prove that they can run it as a business, because that's what they're obligated to do. Obviously, if someone bids 2 packets of crisps and a Mars bar, they can't sell it to Carson Young either, when they need to get shareholder approval. So they're going to have to go to Carson and say, look, we've got this bid for the football club, it's worth this much money, you've got to take it, otherwise things go a bit pear-shaped. Carson, I saw this rumour on Facebook as well, and people on Twitter were asking me yesterday, is it true Birmingham City are going to get points deducted and like we're going to go into administration side? And you know, internally I'm like face palming because yes, the South China Morning Post did report in court last week this was, and I talked about it on here, that Carson Young said, okay, unless they get 10 million in cash, they're not going to be able to, by the end of May, they're not going to be able to function, they're going to lose 10 points, they're going to get relegated. But I'm assured by people at the football club that's not true. I'm assured by people at the football club that they're okay money-wise. You know, the Football League are aware of the money situation, they're aware of Ernst & Young, and they're happy. They are fine with it. Carson Young is saying, his lawyers are saying stuff in court specifically to get what he wants. Carson Young also dropped a bit of a clanger because in saying that, yeah, you know, Ernst & Young, their response was quite simple. It's like, well, if that's the case, we've got these bidders to the club. That's why they solicited the bid specifically for that date. Likewise, Carson asking to join the summons was a bit of a clanger because the judge said, well, okay, any other shareholders want to join? Let's adjourn and find out. So, yeah, Wang Lei joins on his own, and then the judge is going to say, hold on a minute, what's the relationship between you two? And Carson does not want to admit in public that Wang Lei is his brother-in-law. And if it's just those two, then Ernst & Young can say, well, hold on a minute, we represent all shareholders here. We have all their interests in at heart. So, you know, again, Carson is made to look like he's trying to do it for his own ends, which he can't do. So, at the moment, I think Ernst & Young have played a bit of a blinder here. They've got a guy who's representing in court called Victor Joffa, who's really, really good at this sort of stuff, and not amazingly expensive either. I don't know how they've done it. They've brought in someone who's going to actually probably win this for them. Whether it will take the next hearing, whenever that is, I don't know. Whether there'll be a further adjournment, I couldn't tell you. But I think Carson is going to lose that application to put the summons aside. He can appeal it, but let's hope he starts getting the message that, you know, this is something that needs to happen. So the timetable that we know of. Ernst & Young will announce a preferred bidder as soon as practicable, which is like how long is a piece of string, but hopefully soon. Regardless, they have to announce on a monthly basis. I didn't know this, but in the announcement it says they have to announce on a monthly basis, according to Article 3.7 of the Takeover Code, what is going on. So unlike Birmingham International Holdings of before, who let things slide and let things just like die down, Ernst & Young will tell us that, you know, okay, we've looked through the bids and none of them are good enough, or we're still looking through the bids, this is what we're doing, or we've picked a preferred bidder, and then so on and so forth. So this is good. We're going to get regular updates. You see the professionalism there? Are you liking it? Because I certainly am. Okay, so that's it for today. If you have any questions, email me, almajir@aftonpartisan.co.uk, or you can also follow me on Twitter. If you want to ask me a question on Twitter, @afton_partisan. You could ask me on Facebook, facebook.com/aftonpartisan. All links are at the bottom of the screen in the description. If you want to know the backgrounds of what's gone on, then I heartily recommend you read Haircuts and League Cups, which is still available for £10 plus P&P from haircutsandleaguecups.co.uk. Interestingly on this point, one last thing, China Energy. You remember I said that their loan might not have any paperwork? Well, guess what? Find out the full story in the book. Anyway, that's it for now. And hopefully I'll be recording one of these next week with some more good news. Until then, keep right on.